Hey y'all, it is Thursday and we are well on our way to finishing up our first week of remote learning. Um, I am so proud of you guys. I know that this sounds silly, but we have done something new, and I have felt the participation. I have felt you guys like jump on board, regardless of whether you like it or hate it. It is where we're at, and I have just super appreciated the questions you've asked, and like you guys being diligent to get on Canvas and be working on this. And wow, it has been a joy to watch. So today we are going to finish up talking about our Harlem Renaissance before spring break. We have one more poem that I want to talk about, and I'm going to share my screen and then start a slideshow as well. So give this a second to move up so I can start my slideshow. Um, and we are going to be talking about, and I have a handout here too. So if you want to take the handout, what I'm doing here is doing a little bit of annotating. I know it's weird because it's not on a sheet of paper. I didn't print this before I left school, but this annotation is I've given you some words that definitions, etc. And in the subsequent slides, I'm going to explain the allusions that happen. And these can help you then better understand the poem and then maybe help you understand those questions that I ask about this. So the author of this is Countee Cullen. Countee Cullen is an African American. I believe he was from Jamaica and came to live in Harlem. He lived in Harlem. He is considered an American poet, one of the best, and this is one of his sonnets. So if any of you guys were in British Lit, you'll remember that a sonnet is 14 lines and follows a bunch of different types of structure, both Shakespearean and Spenserian. None of that you need to know, but it is important to note that he has stuck with that specific structure here. And so I'll read this through a couple times and then hopefully help you better understand the poem. So I doubt not, let me start over. Yet do I marvel is the name of this poem. I doubt not God is good, well-meaning, kind. And did he stoop to quibble, could tell why the little buried mole continues blind, why flesh that mirrors him must someday die. Make plain the reason tortured Tantalus is baited by the fickle fruit, declare if merely brute caprice dooms Sisyphus to struggle up a never-ending stair. Inscrutable his ways are, and immune to catechism by a mind too strewn with petty cares to slightly understand what awful brain compels his awful hand. Yet do I marvel at this curious thing, to make a poet black, and bid him sing. And so we have lots of things going on here, and most often I would argue that, sorry, I'm just situating myself, this is not easy to understand, which is why I'm taking time to go through this with you currently. And so I'm going to go through this line by line, hopefully discussing a little bit, and then move on to the allusions, which is Tantalus here and Sisyphus, and what he's trying to say here. So I doubt not implies that he believes. He does not doubt that God is good and well-meaning and kind. And he did stoop. That means like go down. I did like lower myself. And quibble means to find fault or criticism for petty reasons. That he did stoop to quibble, could tell why the little buried mole continues blind. So mole, an animal that is blind. So he does not doubt that God is good, that he is doing all of these things, and he does not question why those that mirror him must die. So caprice here means sudden change. Inscrutable is not easily understood. That means God's ways are not easily understood and are exempt from a series of formal questions. We should not question God, is what he's saying. By a mind too strewn with petty cares, meaning we are petty, we don't necessarily understand a lot of things. So I'm not going to go too deep into this. I think that should be some part of your job, but I do want to make sure that these words are known and that you don't take too much time looking them up. And so tantalize, I'm sure some of you guys have heard the word tantalize. That means to taunt. It means to like try to get someone to do something that you know they shouldn't, or that they're going to be mad about. So Tantalus was a Greek story, and it was a story about unquenchable hunger and thirst. He was punished by the gods, and he was made to stand chin deep in water. And then, if you can see the picture down here, chin deep in water. And then he had all of these fruits just within his reach, but he couldn't quite get them. So, in water, kind of sweet smelling, delicious fruit dangling over his head. But whenever he tried to eat or drink, the water would magically recede and the fruit would miraculously be lifted out of his reach. So for eternity, he was tormented, through which nothing ever seems to like be within reach. It's just out of reach for Tantalus. So it is this tantalizing, like just close enough. And so if you go back to here, he wants to know why he is being baited like this. Why are you doing this to me? And if you go to the bottom, why make the black poet, why make him want to sing and talk? Because it's not working. It's not working. This isn't a good place to be, to need to speak, to need to say things without anybody to listen. And then the next one is Sisyphus. And so this is the next specific illusion. So Sisyphus is best known for being punished. I apologize for the PG-13 video or picture here, but it is the picture that depicts him the best. He is nude, and he is being punished by having to roll a stone with his hands and head in an effort to heave it over the top of a hill. But he pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes, and it continues to fall back on him. So his ever forming, his ever punishment is to push this rock and have it come back, to push the rock and have it come back. And he has to do this again and again and again. And so these are some of the questions that you guys are going to be answering today. I'm not going to go through those. I have those on a sheet for you. And so I don't want to talk too long. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. But your goal today is to annotate that poem that I gave you. It is just, as I said, 14 lines long. And then I think I have it here. Yes. So this is let me share my screen again. This is the worksheet that I'm having you do. Sorry. I have to share the screen. This is the worksheet where you are going to be answering these 6 questions, and then you are going to answer them based on what we've read. So what is Cullen's attitude towards God in this poem? What is Tantalus and Syphilis' engagement in the poem? In your opinion, why does he ask rhetorical questions? I encourage you guys to look this up, Spark Notes, Schmoop, answer these questions, and this is going to be your assignment for today. So again, 6 questions, analyzing this poem. This is a Harlem Renaissance poem, and we are going to move forward after spring break watching A Raisin in the Sun. So I'll be on Zoom yet again today. I'm not going to sign in for Friday, but I will sign in for tomorrow. So if you're on, or if you have questions, if you need more help analyzing this poem, 12:30, I'll be on Zoom and we can chat. I encourage you to try Zoom because starting after spring break, it is going to be a requirement. I didn't want to require too much this week, but some of you know how to do it now, and I can ask you to help others, but it is going to start being a requirement as we come back from spring break. Anyways, I'm going to awkwardly sign off now, so I hope you're having a great time. Again, I want to congratulate you on being awesome, and we will talk to you guys later.